yourself some chocolate milk and juice if you want some that's left over from donuts with the director. Might as well get rid of it somehow, huh? All right, we've got a few stragglers coming in. They're supposed to be here, but we'll go ahead and get started. We've got obviously some stuff to get through. So our magic number is 108. Ooh. We leave 108 days from today. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool, huh? You guys excited? Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I want to do this morning is just give you some kind of introductory commentary. I want to go through some administrative things that we need to be thinking about, maybe some pieces that are still left undone, paperwork and things like that. Go through the curriculum and what, just do the assignments so you know exactly what I'm looking for. And then we're going to take you from KCI to Shannon, Ireland. I like to do that in the first class, so you already start thinking about what the travel is going to look like. Okay, so that's the goal, is to try to get through all this. So I'll start by saying that, I put the class preamble out. If you haven't read that yet, that assignment is due tomorrow, so just read that. And that kind of more talks about my expectations of you and your personal investment, I guess, in the learning process. But, more just you and me together, this is going to be a great group of students. We're going to have great times. We're going to have some challenging times, I can tell you. After traveling as many times as I have, there will be some tough times. We'll make our way through it. But guys, if you'll just keep your eyes open, your ears open, and your minds open, this truly can be a life-altering experience for you. I know my life is very different because of all the traveling I've done. So I know you know that, but I just want you to be very cognizant of that. This is actually the 10th trip that I've taken students on since 1993. My first trip, I took 144 high school students to London for a week. We had sousaphone and the entire drum line and 24 wardrobe boxes with our band uniforms. So this is nothing. This is like going to Walmart compared to taking 144 high school kids. And I was dumb enough to turn around and do it again in 1996, 97. So I've taken that group twice. I took the PSU band here in 2001. We took a trip to the Netherlands and Germany and Belgium. About 35, and it was a concert band, so it was much easier, but we still had all the horns and then 2011 was our first honors college trip. And it really felt very light to me to travel with 21 people and no stuff, one suitcase, we get on the bus and go. And so this is our 7th honors college trip. So I've been around the block a few times on this stuff, and I feel like if you'll trust me, if you'll believe me from my experiences, I'll be able to help you through some of those challenges, particularly those of you that have been overseas. Traveling overseas is very different than traveling in the United States. Okay. As far as where we're going, this will actually be the 3rd time I've been to Ireland, and I've been to both coasts, so I feel comfortable in that. Ireland is very laid back. There's just nothing stressful about it at all. It's just beautiful. Never been to Wales, so I'll get a new country on my docket for that. This will be the 7th time I've been to London, so I really feel comfortable around London. It's the tube is pretty easy to navigate if you've never been on one before. And then this is my first trip to Scotland. I've never been there before, so I'm really looking forward to adding a couple of countries to my bucket list. So this will be the 26th country I've been to in my time. So I'm blessed by that, and I think it's cool that I've been able to do that in my life, and I'm anxious to share your virgin experience with you on this, other than Lexi. She went over to Germany last year. We're going to have many great times. There will be problems. And what I found, guys, 3 things that cause problems on the trip. The students not being organized. Okay? We're waiting on you. And there's nothing worse than sitting on the bus. Everybody's ready to go at departure time, and we're waiting on you because you can't find something. So being organized is really, really important for you. Okay? The second thing is not being part of the team. Placing yourself above the others. That becomes a problem. We have to cooperate, we have to have flexibility, we have to have understanding and compassion for each other. So always thinking that we're part of a team. When you travel with your folks, it's different. But when you're part of 27, then we have to work together a little bit more. And the last thing is not listening to instructions, okay, which causes lack of organization. And so if we can just really focus on those things, we'll avoid a lot of problems. So I love traveling and I love students. So what's better than traveling? Right? It's a perfect combination. So I mentioned that we have the preamble, so please, if you haven't done that yet, read it, respond to it. It doesn't need to be a 5-page essay. Just everybody who's responded so far has been just great. So just keep that up. So I know that most all of you know each other, but we do have some people, and Hannah should be here soon. She's another non-honors college student. And I'm also videotaping the class because my sister is going along on the trip. And I just want everybody to make sure they know each other. And so what I'm going to ask you to think real quick now is you're obviously going to do your usual, what your name is, what your major is, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to say one thing you're most excited about and one thing that you're apprehensive about. Should you have questions. So I'll give you a couple seconds to formulate that, okay? And you'll come up here so that you can, this camera can see you. Just stand here and do it real quick and then we'll process through, okay? So who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
Okay, come on up, Bob. So Glenn is a non-honors, and Leland, Maddie's husband, is a non-honors, and then we have a girl named Hannah Sugar. Sugar, you know her. And so, yeah. Okay, so Audrey?
I'm Audrey Dainty. I'm a senior in graphic design. I'm super excited about going abroad. I've gone abroad on cruises, but never actually traveled somewhere, so I'm really excited about that. And to go to Ireland, I'm really excited. Apprehensive. Does the fact that I leave like right after graduation count? Like a day and a half after graduation and get back and have to get things together? I don't know. Maybe about the fact that I've never actually flown abroad. It'll be a really long flight for me, so maybe that.
Yeah, and we'll work you through these apprehensions, okay? We'll cover some things that'll help you with that, okay? Thanks, who's next? Hop up, let's not, yeah. Tell you what, let's just go right across. We'll go Josh, we'll just kind of circle our way through and JLB last. Okay.
In Lexington, I think I know most of you. One thing I'm really excited about is like I met people who traveled all over the world and they say that Ireland's one of their favorite spots that they've been to. It's so clean and that's pretty exciting. And then one thing I'm hesitant about, you mentioned that I went to Germany and when I got back, my feet swelled up really big because I sat down so long on the plane. So I'm worried about having swollen feet the first day.
Okay, I'm not sure I can help you with that apprehension. Next. And we have Lexi and Lexi going, so we're going to have to figure out what we're going to go by so we don't get confused on that.
I'm Josh. I'm a graphic design major and a junior. In case someone's going to watch this. I'm eager for like the sightseeing. I've never been abroad. Apprehensive about like TSA and boarding and what the heck you get around airports.
It can be a little crazy. Yeah, why don't you say whether you've been abroad before? Do it, Josh, you can probably just turn around and just make sure that you're facing that camera. That'll save us a little bit of time.
Okay. I'm Tom. I'm a junior in the music education program. I have been abroad before. I went to Italy when I was very young, but it wasn't there for very long. So I think my most exciting thing about the trips is seeing all the sights and being in the places I've been before. But also, I'm apprehensive about how long I'm going to be abroad. I'm not sure what all to like, how much I should pack or how little I should pack, that kind of thing. So
I will cover that for you.
Shoot, yeah, that's probably the thing I would be apprehensive about.
yeah, it's like 2 weeks almost, right?
Take me about
one pair of
3 days to LA.
We'll talk about that.
I'm Zoe. I'm a nursing
Sure.
major. I'm excited to see new people and places. I really don't know what I'm apprehensive about. I'm just here for it all, I guess. Maybe that's what I'm apprehensive about.
Have you been abroad before?
No.
Never been abroad, okay.
I'm Corey and also Abby. I never know, and he called me Corey earlier, so I don't know what to go by. Call me what you want. I'm a digital media major as well as a hospitality management major. I have been abroad before
Where?
to Mexico and the Dominican Republic. I would say I'm most excited about the fact that I'm almost 100% Irish, so I feel a little bit like I'm going home. And I'm apprehensive about the luggage situation because every trip I've ever been on, someone in my group has had issues either getting their luggage or getting them sent to the wrong place, like sent to Haiti instead of the Dominican Republic. So that's a little worrisome. What?
Pack 2 weeks into a carry-on.
Jade, let's
Yes.
cross over, then we'll come back to the Sigler family here.
Hello, I'm Jaden. I'm a nursing major. I'm excited because we'll be celebrating my birthday while we're out there, so that's fun.
Sweet.
May 24th. So that's exciting.
Oh, cool.
Is that when, I was wondering.
It should be the last day anyway.
I'm apprehensive. I don't love flying. I've done it a lot, but it freaks me out. And we're gonna be flying over the ocean. That really freaks me out. So yeah, but I'm excited.
Have you been abroad before? No.
Nope.
We'll give her lots of Dramamine and we'll see her. We'll load her up with drugs, right? We can fix that. Yeah, I'll have to move the camera.
Okay, I'm Edith. I'm a junior music performance major, and I have been abroad. I went to China about 10 years ago, and I'm most excited for Ireland and apprehensive about the whole airport flying situation.
Okay. Stay close to me, Edith. I'll take care of you, okay?
I'm Glenn. I'm a senior in biology. I've also been abroad to China.
What a surprise.
I'm most excited about seeing another country.
Uh-huh.
Again,
Uh-huh.
it's a different country, but
Uh-huh.
I'm most apprehensive about getting mugged.
Are you really?
My grandma told us a lot about, she's like, don't get mugged, don't get mugged.
Okay. Well, I've never had that happen. I've had pickpocketing, but I've never had mugging, so we'll hope that that'll be okay.
I'm Carson. I'm a sophomore nursing major. I'm most excited about going overseas. I've been to Mexico, but that's the farthest I've ever gone out of the States. And I'm also just kind of a ball of stress, so I'm kind of apprehensive about everything.
You'll be apprehensive every day when you get out of bed. Huh?
I'm Lauren. I'm a sophomore majoring in elementary ed. I went to Spain 3 years ago, so I'm kind of excited about returning to Europe, the same area. But I'm also most apprehensive about like leaving so soon after school ends. I'll be checking like residents out in the dorms until Saturday, the day before we leave. You gotta go home, unpack everything from my dorm, and then pack everything, and then go to Kansas City. So
You'll sleep well on the plane.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Allie. I'm a junior nursing major, and I'm most excited for Scotland because my favorite show is based in Scotland, so I'm just excited to see everything there. And my little brother graduates high school the same night as when we leave, so I'm kind of apprehensive to see if I can make both. I don't know if I can, but if I miss it, I miss it. But so that's my apprehension. And I have been abroad before. I went to France and London in high school.
Oh, so you've been to London then? Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
I'm Katie. I'm a junior in biology. Like Audrey, I've only been on a cruise. I've never actually been like abroad. I'm most excited for Scotland and Ireland because I also watched Outlander with Allie. And I'm most apprehensive for being the unorganized person that makes everybody late. I already had a dream that me and Allie forgot our passports, and it's been haunting me ever since. So.
Remember your passport.
Yeah, you will be coming right back home from KCI.
Well, I'm Maddie. I'm a junior in nursing. I'm excited about traveling, just seeing new places. I went on a cruise and then I went to Cancun. And then I really don't like flying, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll double you up with Jade's Dramamine there, huh?
I'm Leland. I graduated last May in electronics engineering. I'm most excited to learn about new cultures, and I'm most apprehensive that I can take in everything in 10 days.
Yeah.
Remember it.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming, Leland. That's a really good point. Yeah. No, you can just stay. There you go. Okay. Let me adjust the camera. Okay. We know who's going to be at the top of the list now.
That like one person.
Yeah, you're going to be that one person.
I'm Kara. I'm a junior. I'm in the nursing program. I have been abroad multiple times, and last summer I spent 2 weeks in Europe, so I'm really excited to go back, and I really like traveling, so I'm just excited for that as a whole. I had a really bad time at European TSA, so I'm like most apprehensive about that.
Where'd you go last summer?
I went to Madrid, Barcelona, Paris,
yeah.
Normandy, and Amsterdam.
That's awesome. Amsterdam's great. Yeah, that's great. All right, so others going on the trip. Riley Dennis? Yes?
Oh.
Sarah Case? Yes? Camille Holman? Her sister, Audrey, who graduated a couple of years ago, maybe? If anybody gets sick, we should be in great shape because we got tons of nursing majors on this trip, so we ought to be okay there. Then my sister, hi Shelley. She is an English teacher at UCM. She taught high school for 25 years and now teaches college. And being an English teacher, she's very interested in Stratford-upon-Avon and Shakespeare. And so she's going to put together a little PowerPoint intro to Shakespeare for the class. That will be something that you guys can just look through and stuff. She's excited about doing that. Then we have 3 people that are in flux right now. Angela Meyer is an alumni of the Honors College. She actually went on our Switzerland, Italy, France trip. She's an attorney here in town, and she's going to let me know by Monday if she's going to go with us or not. Super nice girl. And then my wife and my mother-in-law might or might not go. We still don't know what the hell's going on with our kids this summer, so we got to get that figured out first, and then we'll decide if they're going to go or not. It's possible that they'll be on a future trip with us as well. I will say that EF has a practice of pairing us up with other schools to make the numbers. Obviously, they want to get as many butts on those seats, or seats on those butts as they can. I said it right first. Butts on the seats as they can. So we are paired right now with a group from Oklahoma State University. It is a focused group, I believe, in some sort of business. There's a male group leader, is what I'm called as a group leader. There's 2 guys and 14 girls. Okay, and all, what's that? Pretty similar. It's a very similar situation. And all college-age students. There's no adults with that group other than the group leader. So, I look at that as a nice opportunity to meet some new people and network. And obviously they're going to have some different goals, maybe some different. He's never done a study abroad trip before, so I'm assuming that usually those people then defer to me to make most of the decisions. But so we got that. Okay. All right, so let's go through some administrative stuff. Okay. Ipsos stipends for you, and make sure you tell Camille this, and for you, and let's see, who's the other? Well, I'll talk to Hannah about it. You guys can get Ipsos stipends. That's International Program Services Office, the Study Abroad Office, and you can apply for those under, I think for this trip it's $250. It's based on the length of the trip and the cost of the trip, but that will at least help a little bit of your dent. So you want to talk to Angela Woods and Whitesett and process that. The rest of you can't double dip the stipends, so that's why I'm just talking to those folks. You guys, insurance, okay? You're going to be required to get insurance through PSU, which that will come out soon when I talk about the studio abroad. You notice that you can also buy insurance through EF. I think it's what, $155, $160, okay? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but the issue is they cover 2 different things, okay? The PSU insurance is structured for repatriation and health care. That's the 2 main priorities that they have. Is if something happens, how are we going to fix you over there? And if we can't fix you, how do we get you home? Okay. The EF insurance more has to do with trip cancellation, lost luggage, things like that. And I will tell you that a true situation is on our World War II trip. The very first night we were on the plane at KCI, and they canceled the flight. We had to get off the plane. We stayed at the Drury Inn in Kansas City the first night. We flew to Chicago the next day, spent the whole day in Chicago, and we finally got there. Well, for the kids who had the trip, the EF insurance, they reimbursed them for the hotel and the day for what they lost. Okay, you see? So it's typical insurance. You buy it, and 99% probably nothing's going to happen. But if something does happen, it's always nice to have it. And so you may have enrolled in that when you enrolled in the trip. If you didn't, I just want to throw that out there that they cover 2 different things. You're required to get the PSU though. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay. Has anybody gotten the studio abroad stuff from Angela Woods yet? Okay, she's working on that. So you will be getting an email from her with a thing called Studio Abroad. It's a repository to collect all your stuff. Okay, You'll turn your health forms in there. You'll turn your copies of your passports in there. There's some questionnaires you'll go through. Please see Angela Moots for any questions about Studio Abroad. I have nothing to do with it whatsoever, and I don't even really know what it does, okay? So if that email comes out, just communicate with her on those issues. Does everybody have their passport? Anybody not have a passport? You're new to still,
Yeah, I went, I did.
Oh, you're married? Yeah, okay, all right.
I have the old one. I have one
Okay,
here.
good. And then tipping money. I had mentioned that in the handout. It's actually a good thing. We used to have to tip the bus driver, the local guides, and our tour guide, and they have now embedded the bus driver and the local guides into the price. So you've already paid for those tips, which is good. So that brings our tipping amount down to $60. Okay, so what I'm going to do tomorrow, which is actually on my desk, I'm going to take the list over to the cashier's office. Okay, and you will go to the cashier's office and you'll say, I'm on a Fuchs Study Abroad trip, and here's my $60 for the tipping money, and they collect it. Okay, and then right before the trip, they will issue me a check for that tipping amount, and then I'll manage the tip while we're on the trip. It's just much easier to do that. Okay, so wait till Monday, maybe at the earliest, just to give them a chance to get organized. But between now and let's say spring break, so that we're not dealing with it in the semester.
That's at what office?
The cashier's office
Oh.
over in Forest Main. Okay, you can just pay cash, make the check out. It's $60 will cover the tips for the trip. Okay, is that cool? If there is anybody else that's thinking about going on a trip, parents, cousins, anything, February 12th is the deadline to add. Okay, I need 11 people to listen carefully to this deadline. February 12th is the deadline for you to go into your EF system and verify your passport. So there are 11 of you who have not done that yet. I'm going to read those names, okay? No problems, just get it done, okay? So Tom, Maddie, you're probably waiting for your name. Riley's not here. Allie, Lexi Hauser, Kelsey Kincaid, I don't know where they are this morning. Morgan, I don't know where she is. Corey, you're probably waiting on yours as well. Josh, Jade, and Zoe. And all you have to do is go into the EF system where you signed up and just verify your name, because they're going to start looking at airline tickets. And we have to make sure that that is correct before they book the airline tickets, or we'll run into problems. Brenda? Okay. Good. And then your preamble response is due tomorrow morning. I think I mentioned that, or tomorrow. Okay. So those were kind of some of the administrative things I wanted to get through. Any questions about any of that before I move on? Yeah.
So you said that we have to do the PSU insurance. How do we get that taken care of?
That's through that Studio Abroad when you get that. Yeah. And I don't have the exact price, but it's based on the length of the trip, and I bet it's going to be less than $30. I think it's like $250 a day or something silly like that. But, it may be more than that, but that's my recollection, because it wasn't very expensive. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the expectations for the class. This is an academic program. I try not to kill you, but at the same time, I have to put some content in here that I think will help. Okay. So attendance-wise, as long as you're in class, you get your attendance points. If at any time you have to miss the class, I'll post the video, or I'm going to give you the option of just coming and talking to me if you'd rather just sit that way. We can dialogue. I don't mind spending 40 minutes talking with you individually, but just know that you'll need to make up that information somehow, and then I'll give you your attendance points after that. Okay. Grading is going to be straight 90, 70. Okay. I do want to point out that remember that we do have to do the 1 credit hour course this summer that's required by the university for liability issues, so that'll be a separate grade that you get, and you will have to pay for that 1 credit hour this summer, okay? So just be prepared for that. I don't like it, but that's the way the university operates. So when you get ready to enroll for fall, you'll want to enroll in that 1 class for the summer as well. Yes? Okay? All right, so let's go a little bit more towards the specific assignments. Everybody looked at this already, yes or no? Kind of plow through it a little bit. Okay, so you got your preamble, you got your board class. The first little project you're gonna, and you guys can turn these in at any time. If you have a weekend that you're sitting around doing nothing, just knock it out. I don't think it's gonna take you very long. The idea here is for you to tie the culture and the practices of the countries we're going to your major. And so I tried to find as many connections as I could. Healthcare for your bio and nursing people, business, okay, education for the teachers. Right? So I've given you some ideas here of things that you can, I think Brexit would be really interesting, what's going on over there. I think the monarchy would be really interesting because of what's going on with Harry right? Okay. So these are ideas and some things that I would want you to look at. But guys, if you can't find something on here, or you have something that's particularly interesting to you, then just come talk to me about it. I'm quite sure I'll be very flexible with it. I'm just not thinking of everything that you might be interested in, okay? So all you're going to do is just research what that looks like in 2 of the 4 countries we're going to. Write a little essay about it. If you do any sort of referencing, cite it. If you don't, it's no big deal. I'm not an English teacher. I just want you to learn something about it and turn that in. It's in a discussion post, and then you read and respond to at least 2 of your colleagues and try to do something that's not the same topic as you. So the nursing students shouldn't all be commenting on nursing research. Does that make sense to you? No big deal, right? Not going to kill you? Okay. I've got a due date in there for that. You can look it up, but again, if you want to go earlier, you can. Then the second one is going to be more about a place. Think about one of the places we're going to go, and again, if you have something that you want to research, even though it may not be on that list, come see me, and I'll be happy to visit with you about that. I will tell you that St. Paul Cathedral and Westminster Abbey have really, really rich histories. You'll be able to find lots of stuff, and it's very interesting, particularly how they built up St. Paul's Cathedral in the 16th century with the technology they had available, right? It took them 700 years to build that cathedral. Think about that, all right? Edinburgh Castle I've never been to, so those are some options there for that. It's more of a history of a place because you're not going to be able to get all of that from the tour director and the tour guides while you're there. So if you go in with a little bit of knowledge of where we're going and what we're going to see, I think that would be helpful. Is that okay, everybody? Yeah. Okay. The last one I got 3 more. This one I've been playing around a little bit with EF, and I don't know if you saw your accounts yesterday, but there was a $35 charge. Some of you had already had your trips paid off. I don't know if you saw that or not, but there was a $35 charge. The CQ assessment, I'm not going to cover this in great detail now because it's going to be late, but what this is a cultural IQ exam. And it's a pre-test, post-test. So you go in and you answer some questions about where your level of understanding and comfort and interest is in multicultural or cross-cultural experiences. Then we've developed some goals for you during the program to address those areas where you might be weak in. And you write about that in your 1-hour paper this summer. And then at the end, you do a post-test to see if you moved on that paradigm at all through the experience. And since we're piloting it for them, they gave it to us for free. And so you'll see a $35 charge, and then you'll see a $35 credit. They couldn't just take it off. Okay, so don't be freaked out by that cost in there. They said that they would be willing just to let us kind of be a pilot for that. I've never done it before, but it just seemed to me that in this particular trip, this might be a good place to put this. Okay, so that's what that is. Then this is a parallel of me sitting around on my couch over 5 weeks of Christmas break doing nothing. But I found this Netflix video on the Royal House of Windsor, and I think it was a 6-part thing, 45 minutes apiece. But it really is pretty interesting. It takes you from 1917 to current day and what the monarchy looks like, the purpose, how it's changed. You'll get very confused because Josh will take over as king, and instead of Josh, he's King John VI. And then Josh Teagarden comes in and he takes over as king, and now he's King Samuel II. They change their names, in other words, whenever they become monarchs. So it's very confusing to try to keep track of who's who in there. But, we don't have monarchy. This is really the only existing monarchy in the world, so I thought it was pretty interesting. And then the second one is just a very brief history of Ireland. Ireland does not have a lot of iconic places, and I'm glad some of you said you're just looking forward to the beauty of Ireland, because that's really what Ireland is about. There's one cathedral in Dublin. That's really the only building that I've ever seen that's of any importance when I've been in Ireland. But man, driving around the west coast of Ireland with the bogs, the hills, and the sheep, the ocean, you're there for the aesthetic of Ireland. It is beautiful. So know that that's not going to be historical in your mind. Okay? And I'm not planning on adding anything else. I think that that's adequate for the class. Is that cool with everybody? Got it? So just follow your deadlines, do what you're supposed to do, and we'll be fine. Okay? As far as the video expectation reviews, I don't want you to give me a blow-by-blow account of it. Just give me some bullets. I just need to know that you watched the video, okay? I know I should trust you, but I gotta have a little accountability here. So just kind of jot some things down to prove to me that you spent the time learning the material. I would encourage you to seek out Rick Steves videos. Do you guys know who Rick Steves is? He is a world traveler, and he has series. I mean, he's been all over videos about places, and they're about 25 minutes long. Rick Steves, S-T-E-V-E-S. And if you'll just put in Rick Steves video, and you can put Dublin, and there'll be a 25-minute thing about Dublin. And what's cool about those is he always finds the cool spots. You need to go to this restaurant and eat because there's something significant about it. You need to make sure that you walk down this street because you'll see something. And so just doing some personal research on those Rick Steves video, I always find helpful because you kind of have a vision of what the landmarks are going to look like also. Make sense? Okay, so if you have time, those aren't required. But if you have time, I would encourage you to do that. How we doing? Questions before I move on? No? All right, you ready to go from KCI to Ireland? Okay. 108 days. You got to remember this for 108 days, all right? All right, you might want to write some things down on this, okay? We will get our flight schedule 30 days before departure. We will not know our flight schedule until 30 days before departure. We know it's going to be on May 17th, Sunday, so just plan on it. It will typically be mid-morning out of KCI. Typically mid-morning, because what we normally do is take like a 10 or 11 o'clock flight from KCI to a gateway, Atlanta, New Jersey, New York, something on the East Coast. We'll have a little layover, and then we do our international flight. I need you at the airport 2 hours before departure time. It's an international flight, but it's KCI for criminy's sake. Okay, and we're not going to LaGuardia. It doesn't take us that long to get through. So 2 hours, whatever the departure time is, 2 hours before, then I'm going to need you there. And I'll be there first, and I'll get myself checked in so I can assist you all with it. Okay? You will all check yourselves in at either the kiosk or the front desk. You will need your passport. You get one checked bag, and you have to carry it. I'm not carrying your bags. And you're going to buy stuff. So it's going to be heavier on the way home than it is over, so think about that. It's going to be more packed on the way home than it is on the way over. And we are in 5 hotels. So you are constantly taking the suitcase off, carrying it up the steps, because they typically don't have elevators in European hotels, or if they do, it'll hold 2 people with no suitcase. So a lot of carrying your suitcases up the steps. Sleep for a night, pack it up, put it back on the bus, and we're off to another place. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit more in the class about how to pack and what to pack, but 1 suitcase, 1 carry-on. Now girls, you get the 1 carry-on first, right, typically. Okay. We'll go through security. KCI's TCA or TSA is not hard. It is your responsibility to know what the TSA rules are. Okay? If you go through and get caught with something, it's not my fault. Okay, so make sure that if you haven't traveled before, you have researched that or talked to people. So we'll go through TSA. We'll wait inside the gate. Seating arrangements in groups like this are normally done in alphabetical order within the scope of the plane. It is very unlikely that we will all be sitting in a block of 27 seats on the plane. So know that, okay? Please do not start changing seats. I did this on my very first trip, and it was the most debacle you've ever seen in your life. They basically had to unload the plane and put everybody else back on. Because I had 144 high school kids, and they wanted to sit next to their friends. And I mean to tell you, it was awful. Awful. So just sit in the seat that you're assigned. And then if something, you can say, hey, will you switch with me if there's an open seat? Okay, but know that we're going to be all over the plane, and you're not necessarily going to get to sit next to your friends. Try to get you guys to put with your name to be the same. You should be okay. But I often don't sit next to my wife, which is okay with me. Yeah, so we'll board in Kansas City. Guys, I operate in roll call groups. And I do this for a very specific reason, and it works very well. Okay, I don't want to have to, every time I have to account for the group, I don't want to have to count 27 heads. It takes me too long. And so what we'll do is I will break you into 3 groups, 3 roll call groups. And I'll always pick the tallest person to be the captain of the group. Okay, Carson, you're out. Okay, Zoe, you're out. And what you will do is constantly, especially on the travel dates, because I've got to keep track of everybody, know that everybody's there very quickly, you will move in these roll call groups. So all I have to do is look at Glenn, and he'll give me a thumbs up. And he's got his 5 people, and I'll look at Tom, and I'll look at Josh, and we're ready to go. It takes like 2 seconds for me to take roll, right? but you have to go to that person. I also don't want Glenn looking around, okay, where's Carson? She must be hiding some things. Okay, so when I say roll call, you immediately go to your roll call group, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, we're gone. And it saves us, so we'll take roll probably 100 times on this trip. And it saves us so much time over the course of the trip. This goes for when we get on buses. I will never leave until I get a thumbs up from all the roll call groups. So just know that that's going to be a process, and it's especially important when we are en route. Okay? So we'll probably have a layover. We always do have a layover at the gateway. All I ask is that you're back 30 minutes before departure, whatever that is. So we get off, we'll have a little kumbaya moment, make sure we know where our gate is. I usually take us all to the departure gate, so we know where that is, and then I'll release you. You go do what you want to do, and then you come back 30 minutes before departure. Okay? On international flights, we will be flying overnight. This is the hardest part of the trip over, is we fly overnight. We usually leave maybe 6 or 7 o'clock at night from our gateway. Depending on where we go, it's going to be a 6 to 8 hour flight. Okay, if we leave from New York, it's only a 6 hour flight to London, which is not bad at all. If we leave from Atlanta, it's probably going to be more like a 7, maybe an 8 hour flight. Anybody flown overnight on an international trip? Sucks, doesn't it? Sucks. I hate it. Okay, I can never get comfortable. I'm excited. I'm stoked. It's 6 o'clock for crime's sake. I don't go to bed I go to bed at 9, but I don't go to bed at 6. You guys don't go to bed till 1. And you get there, and there's a 6 hour time difference. So if we leave at 6, and the flight is 6 hours, what time do we arrive on your body clock? Midnight. What time is it in Ireland? 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're going all day. It's brutal. Have any of you stayed up for 36 hours nonstop? And you're expected to have a smile on your face and a good attitude and ready to learn, right? You've experienced this, haven't you? The trip over is brutal. So some things you can do. Hydrate. Yes, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, but that's okay. Make sure you're drinking. This will help your feet too. Okay? Make sure you're hydrated. You will get 2 meals on the flight. They'll serve dinner shortly after we take off, and then they'll wake you up when you really don't want to wake. You just got to sleep, and they're going to wake you up and give you breakfast. Okay, so you'll get 2 meals on that flight over. Keep your passport at your seat with you and a pen. Some countries, I don't know, I can't remember when I went to Ireland, but some countries require you to fill out an immigration card on the plane that you then give to customs. Did you have to do that in Germany? And I don't want you to have to get up and dig your passport out of your overhead bin. So I always want you to keep your passport and a pen at your seat with you so you could easily do that. Okay? Yeah, it's really hard on your body clock. Okay? So then we're going to get there. We're going to land in Shannon, Ireland, which is not a very big airport. Okay? The customs, last time I went, it did not take us very long to get through there. And you'll go through and you will hand them your passport, and they will look at you, make sure you're the right person, they'll stamp your passport, and they'll send you on through. And then you wait. Please notice, you wait until the whole group gets through. We will stay together at every stage of the process as we move through the airports. Once we get the thumbs up from everybody, we will move to the baggage carousel, and we will get our luggage. Okay? Once everybody's there, we get the thumbs up, we will meet our tour director there. And the tour director is a key component to our trip. He or she is with us 24/7. They stay in the hotel, they go everywhere with us, they organize everything. And I encourage you to get to know them, because they're really cool people. They have traveled the world. This is what they do for a living. There are times when I've been trying to get hold of them, to ask them a question. They're, well, I'm on another tour right now, but I get off Saturday and I pick you up Sunday. They never go home. They literally live out of a suitcase their entire life. I learned to give them a smile. I always take a gift for them. And I learned over the years to give them something very small, because they never go home. And so if you give them something large, then they got to take that to the next trip, right? So I always give them a shot glass or a pen or something like that, something they can easily put in. But they're great. They have so much knowledge, and they want to get to know you. They truly enjoy it. They'll hang out with you. So please get to know the tour directors, okay? They're great people. So we'll meet that person there. Depending on when the Oklahoma State group gets there, if they come in after us, then we'll wait at the airport until they get there, and then we'll get on the bus to go. If they get there first, they'll be waiting for us. But once both groups are there, because we share the same tour director, we'll go and we'll get on the coach, okay? I get the front seat on the right, okay? That's my seat. If my mother-in-law wife goes along, they get the front seat on the left, because my mother-in-law likes to talk and you don't want to be anywhere around her, all right? She asks millions of questions. So, there should be plenty of room. It's a 55-seat coach, so you can probably sit by yourself or pair up. It doesn't become your seat for the rest of the trip. You can move around. But we'll take roll. Thumbs up. We'll go. Luggage team. Gentlemen, you're the luggage team, okay? I have found that it's much easier for us to just, girls, bring your suitcases out and line them up on the side of the sidewalk next to the bus, and 4 guys put those in rather than 27 people trying to. Can you envision this? Okay.
Yes.
I've got a little experience on this, okay? So just set it there. Guys, you put it on. When we arrive where we're going, girls, just step back. Guys, get in there, pull those suitcases up, line them up. Girls, grab your suitcase and you're out. Okay? Sorry, you have to work extra.
Thanks, guys.
Please be very careful if you have to go around the other side of the bus to unload, because there's cars. Yes? Because sometimes they will say, this side is full, go around the other side. Girls, do not go around the other side. The guys will bring your suitcases back around for you. London is special. Why would London be special, what I'm talking about? Because they drive on the wrong side of the road. And so all of a sudden, you've been getting off on the right side of the bus, and you are stepping directly into traffic. Okay? So we'll have a bus luggage team, okay? Always, always, always let your roll call group member or leader know where you're going. If we're in the airport and we break up, or you need to leave for some reason, just say, hey, I'm going to go do this. You guys don't know Jacob Brown, before you. He was a very independent young man. He was ROTC. And on our World War II trip, he wanted to upgrade because he has miles. And he took off and went to the American Airlines, whatever airline we were flying, and didn't tell anybody, and took off to go see if he could get his seat upgraded. Well, nobody knew where the hell this guy was. And he almost missed the flight because he didn't get back to us. And I was like, where is this guy? So make sure you let us know if you're going to go someplace. I've only lost a student once, and it was treacherous. Yes, ma'am?
So, talking about losing people, I know.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, I know we won't be able to use our phones probably unless we have Wi-Fi over there, I'm assuming. So, are we gonna set up like a group meet or something in case we do have signal? But then, what are the chances we have signal when someone is lost?
It is a huge problem. I mean, I lost my wife in Budapest, and it was awful. I mean, seriously, she had no idea where she was. She had taken my daughter back to the hotel because she wasn't feeling well, and she said, I'll be able to make my way back. Well, she got lost. She doesn't. They speak Hungarian in Budapest, and she was lost and she was crying. And I finally, it was like 3.5 hours later, and I finally found her. And we fought a little bit about that. It was a bad decision. So yeah, you only get Wi-Fi. Now I will tell you, I'm going to talk about international cell phone plans a little bit later.
Okay.
And so can we?
Yeah, I figured I was ahead of you
But
anyway.
yeah, it is an issue. Okay. So everybody cool? 2 hours before flight time, KCI. You fly, sleep, grunt, groan, get off the plane. You're tired. You hate me. I just want to go home. Get on the bus, and we immediately start into our itinerary. We do not go to the hotel. We will be boots on the ground walking by 1 o'clock. That's my goal.
How long is a day of like travel and activity, like dawn to dusk?
The first day we try to take it easy on you.
Okay.
The first day when we get there, we will just do a walking tour to acclimate you to Killarney, which is where we're starting. There'll be a group dinner that night. They always provide a dinner the first night, which will be fairly early, 5:30, and then the balance of the evening is on your own. And I encourage you to go to bed. I encourage you just that first night, 7 o'clock, you should be in bed because you're going to be very tired. Try not to sleep on the bus, in the intermediate, or try to force yourself to stay up to 7. But then think about that, then you're going to go 7 o'clock to probably 7 o'clock. So you're going to get 12 hours sleep that night. But yeah, if you think about that, what time you're going to get up on Sunday to fly, you're up all night, and you go until 7 o'clock, which is what time on your body clock? About it, okay?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, hopefully you just flip that switch on the line and go, yeah, man.
Okay, I might be ahead here, but how does the hotel situation work? Like, do we choose somebody to share a room with, or?
Good, that's a great segue into my final thing, because it says rooming. I'm not going to give detail, but I'm going to tell you what you need to start thinking about. Is that cool? Okay. So here are things I want you guys to think about that are going to come up that you're going to need to make some decisions on. Rooming list. The rooming, the hotel will give me an allocation as I'm driving to the hotel, as we're driving to the hotel. They'll say, I've got this many doubles, this many triples, this many quads. So what we do to save time, I've learned this, is we develop our rooming list ahead. So if I want you to figure out who you're going to live with if you're in a double, who you're going to live with when you're in a triple, and who you're going to live with when you're in a quad. And if you don't care, then you'll just say, I don't care, flip me with anybody. Okay? Because we had 6 in a room one time when we were in Prague. It was like a hostel situation, so we never know. But if I have that list ahead of time, then while we're on the bus, I can just pair things up. We get there and we get the rooms ready, rather than trying to decide while we're standing in the hotel lobby. Does this make sense? So be thinking about 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4, who you're going to want to live with. Free time ideas. You've seen the itinerary, you know there's some free time built in. The worst thing you can do when it comes to free time is stand there and go, well, Zoe, what should we do today? You need to research this ahead of time and know that when I dismiss you in Dublin, this is where you're going. Okay? And I'll give you some ideas as we go along in the class. But be researching, because you will have 3 or 4 hours at every place we're going on your own just to venture away. Do you want to shop? Do you want to go to a museum? Do you want to go to a site? Do you want to go to the Guinness factory? Okay, so be thinking about those. Cell phone plans. You need to be contacting your provider and making a decision of what type of connection you want to have. I'm required to have an international cell phone plan as the group leader, so I always have contact. But you are right, sometimes it's only effective when you have Wi-Fi, Facebook Messenger, group meeting, things like that. So you need to talk to your provider and find out how that works for your international cell phone plan. Yes, Brenda? You need to make your decision about insurance coverage. I talked about that earlier, okay? I think that has to be signed up for. If you're not currently signed up through EF, then I'm sure there's a deadline on that. Optional to Windsor Castle. Right now, there are only 2 students who are not going on the optional to Windsor Castle, which is fine with me, that's your choice. But the rest of us are going to Windsor Castle, which means those 2 people are going to be in London all by themselves, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I'm not forcing anybody to do it. But just so you know that the entire group right now is going to Windsor Castle that afternoon other than 2. You can still add that if you want to. You and Corey, so you can decide if you want to hang out together or not. You just go back into EF. I think it's what, 89, 98, something like that. It's pretty cool. They take you out there. We go through the castle. They give you 2 or 3 hours to just mill around the village there and have lunch. And again, with everything that's been going on recently, Windsor Castle's been on the news quite a bit, so it's a pretty cool place. All right, so we will do when to meet again. I'm going to meet once a month, so just expect a when to meet. I'll try to do it a week and a half, 2 weeks before classes. Yes. Respond to them immediately if you would, please, so we can get it organized. Our next class, we are going to talk about daily routines, breakfast, walking tours, free time ideas, etiquette, attendance groups, bus etiquette, paying for bathrooms, meals, what the meals look like, alcohol policies, and then we'll talk about the Ireland part of the itinerary in detail. Here's what we're going to do while we're in Ireland. So I kind of take you through the trip, one class at a time. Yes?
Yes.
Karen?
Can I ask what week you're looking at for that next meeting?
I don't know yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got to look at my schedule too. And again, try to get here if you can. We've got it back.
Can we volunteer for the roll call person? If you're naturally a person that's going to count everybody anyway.
You can, yeah. I often use teachers. You know, people who are education majors.
I'm going to do it anyway, so
okay.
I'm saying.
You'll be my double check.
I'm like the, yeah.
All right. You guys, I hope that helps you a little bit. I hope it inspires you to be thinking ahead, okay? I sure look forward to sharing this journey with you all. No question is a dumb question.
I know I pretty much feel it.
That's a dumb question. No. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know the way. I had to
Open it. I mean, it's your money. Okay. Yeah. So, did they? You did your deposit.
You have, but then I just like loaded and slapped dollars on it, and then the rest of my regular budget home because like I can on my phone whenever I have Wi-Fi, I can just transfer it into it, but I like don't ever lose my actual card. Yeah. And so as long as I just paid that bill, I was good. But if I lost it, I only lost it. If I have $250, I only lost $250. I didn't lose like all of my money that was in my account.
That February 12th deadline, I asked her how hard the fast that is.
Okay, and then
You have
with my old stuff.
you have to
They're going to book your airline ticket.
whether you're going to use like a regular account or if you're going to buy a prepaid card, because not all prepaid cards, like all card numbers are taken overseas.
Yeah.
I think our sort of.
I liked this one because I ran out of money. I was like, I think I'm only gonna spend $500 like the whole time there, but I'm like, crap, I need like $8 or something, because like I can transfer it over.
Okay, just waiting on that.
Also, if like anyone were to steal it, I use calls.
That's what I'm kind of like, if I just have like a credit card, no thing, then as long as there's no daily limit.
I liked it too because then like I didn't have to pay it off when I got back or anything because it's like my money. Yeah, this was good too because then I could like, okay, I allotted myself this much, but if I stay under that, then like, don't spend more than that.
Yeah.
Also, my birth certificate.
I'm gonna enjoy myself while I'm there.
Yeah. I also did very self-service when I was over there. And like,
Yeah.
and everywhere has Wi-Fi. So like restaurants have Wi-Fi. Pretty good Wi-Fi. So I didn't have any issues. Also, it's actually like my favorite part of the trip is not being on my phone. Yeah. Because like when I had my phone out, I was like, yeah, this is something I wasn't like.
And then my just.
Oh, it didn't. So I just wait. So I felt like I enjoyed it.
It is so fun, and he has nothing to do with it.
I don't think terrible.
Okay, so I need to get this.
I'm gonna go.